Good morning. It's 9 a.m. on this Tuesday, St. Patrick's Day, March 17. Thanks for joining us here on Daybreak as we continue to stream through 9:30. It has been a rough morning on roads across western New York. This is a live look at the 90 near the Pembroke exit, 48A. It looks like 3 vehicles were involved in a crash there, and they're still waiting to be cleaned up right now. But again, that's on the 90 West, the mainline throughway at 48A. And our cameras have also been rolling on more crashes all morning long. Take a look at some of this video. This has been a mess since around 7 o'clock this morning. This is on the Walden Avenue on-ramp to the 90 West near the Galleria. An RV that was being pulled by a pickup truck overturned after it collided with a U-Haul, which was already there because it had struck a guide rail around 6 o'clock this morning. For a while, that ramp was shut down. The ramp is back open, but still there are slowdowns leading all the way back to the 290 there on the 90 West. And take a look at this crash involving 2 vehicles on the 190 North. This is right near the Niagara Street exit. That car perpendicular in the left lane there. So much going on. And there's also a crash on the 190 right near Grand Island Boulevard exit. It's hard to see because of the speed limit sign right there, but it looks like there are several vehicles on the side of the road toward the median there on the 190 near Beaver Island Parkway. And Lance Mellon has been covering all of this morning. Lance, it really got worse as the commute started picking up. What's going on right now?
Yeah, thanks, Melissa. Well, you covered a lot of it, honestly. Those were the main issues all morning. And, we started off with a couple of spinouts here and there, but as soon as volume started picking up, the problems started happening. So just a quick live look again, like you just showed. Now we have a crane on scene trying to lift this trailer up, get it on at least its tires so that it can be towed away. But, yeah, this is a spot we've been watching all morning, and it's been giving us a headache for those 90 West drivers through Cheektowaga. Thankfully, that right lane has been reopened. The troopers have left the scene, so it's a little quicker getting by, but still under speed. Not as far as the 290. Things have alleviated a little bit through that section, just a little slow past the 33. And thankfully, the 290 East, a lot of that volume has alleviated. No longer any delays heading towards the Blue Water Tower, which is good to see.
And tell us again, show us the Niagara Street exit if you can again, or was it the 190 at Niagara where that car was perpendicular? That's been there for a while as well, right?
Yeah, that actually has cleared. So
okay.
That area near Niagara Street has, all lanes have been reopened. So that area is looking a lot better. It's the delays heading to downtown Buffalo I've still been watching, and those have pretty much cut in half. We were backed up to Seneca Street. Now you can see still just a bit slow from Hamburg getting off at Elm Street or maybe to Church. So drivers still dealing with some unusual delays, a little later than usual, but at least those lanes have been reopened. But if you don't mind, I'm just going to switch over real quick and show you that camera near the 190
Right.
South.
What's going there? Okay, I was wondering whether that was north or south. So that's 190 South on Grand Island for folks who are trying to get into Tonawanda.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly, yeah. This is just before the South Grand Island Bridge. That left lane's still blocked. This has been in place for about an hour, and you can see the congestion passing by for those drivers, like you said, trying to get into Tonawanda. Still backed up to about Whitehaven Road, so that delay has been pretty consistent. So we've been watching that, and you also talked about that accident. Yeah, pretty much all of Grand Island for drivers getting from Niagara Falls or Lewiston down to Tonawanda. And real quick, I just want to show you that accident on the 90 East. This is in Pembroke. There are actually, you can see 3 vehicles here, but there were actually 6 vehicles involved. We were panning this camera around, so if you're heading towards Batavia or Rochester this morning, we now have, it looks like, almost all lanes blocked, very slow getting by that right lane, and folks have to be on the shoulder a little bit just to pass by there, so we're seeing about a 2-mile delay through that stretch as well. Wow,
okay, so if you're trying to get to Batavia or Rochester this morning, that's going to back you up, and you need to know about that. Wow, it's been a busy morning. We're not used to seeing so much ice and snow in mid-March, and it's certainly wreaking havoc on the morning commute. And also a lot of sunshine too this morning, so you kind of need the shades, and perhaps the sun is playing a role, but certainly the ice and the snow is playing a role in the morning commute. Hopefully everyone involved in those crashes is doing okay, but yeah, what a mess. All right, Lance, thanks so much for bringing all of that to us this morning, staying on top of everything. We really appreciate it. And speaking of driving, gas prices quite the headache this morning. They are skyrocketing. Overnight, the national average went up by 9 cents. So now the national average, according to AAA, is $3.79 a gallon, up nearly 90 cents from a month ago. Statewide, the average is $3.66. The average in Western New York sitting at $3.62 this morning. With concerns growing over rising gas prices, Governor Kathy Hochul visited Western New York yesterday to address the issue. And much of the increase, of course, is being linked to the conflict in the Middle East. The Strait of Hormuz, which is closed, and Daybreak's Natalie Foss has more on the message from the governor.
Here at the Speedway along Route 5 in Lackawanna, it's about $3.69 for a gallon of unleaded gas. Now, the governor was here in Western New York yesterday. She says that as the conflict in Iran continues, she's calling on the state legislature to try and do something to bring those prices down for New Yorkers. She was in Western New York yesterday for a visit. She says that since this all started back in February, gas prices have gone up about 21% across the entire state. The governor now wants the legislature to figure out a way to reduce gas prices before the budget is due on April 1st. While speaking in our area, Hochul was joined by elected officials and the president of Bison Turf Equipment, who says that her business is being negatively impacted by increased gas prices.
We have huge loaders and they take a lot of fuel. We can't go back to our clients and say, hey, we need to raise your price because fuel's gone up, because we're already contracted. So we have to take it out of our bottom line, which affects us greatly.
President Trump continues to urge the public to not worry about gas prices, saying in a press conference yesterday that oil prices are expected to go down dramatically once the conflict in Iran is over. But people continue to grow weary as there isn't a set date on when this conflict will be over, and the prices at the pump only continue to go up. On your side in Lackawanna, Natalie Foss, Channel 2 News.
Natalie, thank you. Well, new overnight, crews responded to a fire at an apartment complex in Orchard Park. This video shows crews dealing with heavy smoke in some spots on Shadow Lane. They were really focused on a detached garage in the vicinity. And we spoke with police at the scene, and they say no one was hurt in that fire. This morning, we now know the name of a woman who was stabbed to death in Lockport last week. Police tell 2 on your side Denise Williams was the victim of domestic violence. Police say 21-year-old Isaiah Williams is accused of stabbing her inside a home on Genesee Street near Washburn Street last Friday. She later died at Lockport Memorial Hospital. State police arrested Williams in Pendleton before turning him over to Lockport police. He's charged with second-degree murder and is due back in court on Thursday. Police say the case is being investigated as a domestic violence incident. Well, maintenance work continues at the Buffalo and Erie County Naval and Military Park to clean up fuel that leaked from one of the historic ships there into the Buffalo River. Last week, a pinhole was found in one of the fuel tanks aboard the USS Croker. The DEC and the Coast Guard say that this, on top of about 30,000 gallons of oily water seeping into the USS the Sullivan's warship, could cause hazardous threats to the environment. Crews are expected to take about 6 to 10 days to remove the waste. New York's Attorney General is throwing her support behind proposed federal legislation that would ban businesses from using a shopper's personal data. The legislation is to set individual prices both online and in store. She says surveillance pricing could charge different people different prices for the same product.
I think it's really critically important that we pass this package of bills to address the issue of surveillance pricing and all of this, the data that's being used against consumers and particularly vulnerable and marginalized populations, particularly at a time when affordability is an issue not only in New York City, but all across the state of New York.
The One Fair Price package, which is co-sponsored by Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, has been referred to the Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation. All right, 9:09 now, and we are still sitting at 15 degrees, which is actually colder than how we started the morning 5 hours ago. Patrick, happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, it's cold out there. One of the coldest St. Patrick's Days in quite a while. You got to go back to 2014, the last time we were this cold in the morning. Actually, that morning it got down to 10. But the last time we had a high temperature where we're forecasting a number in the mid-20s was 1984. So it's been 42 years since it's been this cold on St. Patrick's Day. We're in the teens here. Wind speeds still gusting 25 to 30. The good news is the wind speeds will begin to come down this afternoon. And what the heck is going on here? The wind chills are in the single digits, either side of 0. So, all right, yesterday's high was 61. The current and the lowest wind chill we've had this morning is down to 2 below 0. So that is quite the change. For today, 24. Tomorrow, 33. And it looks like we're going to see numbers, we're getting in at 20s today, 30s, 40s. We climb. But it's a kind of a slow climb, and it's going to stay kind of on the cloudier side. Today we'll see a mix of clouds, maybe a few peaks of sun, and we can't rule out some snow showers still, okay? Most of any additional accumulating snow will be south of us, it appears, into the southern tier. But after that, it looks like we'll begin to see things taper down. All right, let's get to the forecast here. There's, again, a couple of... my computer is totally acting up here. All right, some snow totals. Glenwood, 7 inches. East Aurora, 5.2. Fredonia, 4.5. What? What's wrong?
Well, Elma is falling off the screen, and it also doesn't.
Yeah, it's a long story because this is a graph. Okay, we got it. 4 inches.
I know.
In Elma. Okay, it's my birthday. I can do what I want.
You can do what you want. At least it's in the right order.
All right. Well, I don't know what's happening with the computer here. It's doing all sorts of glitchy things here.
All right. Give you a birthday break.
Let's see. Let's go to future look here if this wants to work. And we'll see, again, a continuation of snow across the southern tier where snow showers will continue, I think, pretty much all day today, where we could see a couple of inches of additional snow. Farther to the north, drier, but still a couple of snow showers are possible, and it will be very, very cold today. Tonight, snows continue in Chautauqua County, where a flow off, by the way, the water here is wide open. The only ice remaining is kind of down here on the far eastern end, the deep end of the pool, if you will. That's where we have, well, it's not really the deep's in the center, but that's where the ice remains. But if the flow is westerly, it's traveling over open water, and that's why the snow shower is continuing. So for today, high temperatures, low 20s. We're down into the teens again tonight. And then for tomorrow, temperatures in the low to mid 30s. And taking a look kind of at the long range, are we warming up? And the answer is not really. I mean, of course, it's not going to be this cold. But as we look into next week, a large part of the country is going to be dealing with warmth. In fact, a big headline in the coming days is this big time heat out west. But we still are going to be kind of nicked by little systems coming out of the northwest, which will ensure the warmth that occurs does not occur here. So we're going to stay at or below normal, it appears, right into next week. Normal right now is 42. Normal by the end of the month is like 47, 48. We're going to probably be below that. Cold under mostly cloudy skies with some blowing snow. And then for tonight, we're going to see partly cloudy skies with temperatures in the teens once again. And then as we head into tomorrow, partly cloudy with temperature in the low 30s. 7-day forecast. So a lot of 40s, a lot of clouds, a little light rain possibly for Friday and Saturday. And we're talking light. Okay, not a big deal. I know a lot of people are coming out of town for the tournament, and you kind of want to show off with nice spring weather, which sometimes happens here. This year, it looks like it's going to be kind of murky with clouds lingering into the weekend. We're in the mid to upper 40s, a little light rain or snow on Sunday. Cold. See, look at Monday, Melissa.
Yeah. I was just going to ask you if you think we're done with the Arctic weather, but Monday we're 16-degree low? I mean, that's not... So I would, today is certainly Arctic air, and I will admit that I think it was earlier in March that it was like, okay, we still can get cold, but we're done with the Arctic. Right. Little did we know that there was one, I can't imagine, it's hard to get Arctic air in April. It can happen, but I gotta believe this will be the coldest we see for the rest of the season. But yeah, Melissa, you're right. Yeah. Teens for lows. Are ski resorts still open?
So I heard, and we should check, in fact, we can look at their live camera. I heard Kissing Bridge was making snow again. this morning because it was cold enough to do that. So that resort is expected to, got to check with Holiday Valley as well.
Yeah, I mean, maybe try to get another good weekend.
Yes, I think 100% because, yeah, last weekend was quite warm. They got some skiing in, but yeah, I think making some additional snow, and they'll be able to do that tonight as well.
Okay, well, good for them. Bad for us. All right, Patrick, thanks. Well, we will talk March Madness, as we do have so many Western New Yorkers and visitors who are planning on heading downtown to see the games on Thursday and Saturday. We'll tell you what's in store right after the break. Welcome back. It's an exciting time to be a sports fan because March Madness officially kicks off today. In just a few hours, all eyes will be on the first 4 games, and the results of one of those games will determine who comes to KeyBank Center on Thursday. Yeah, take a look. The first game that kicks off today is UMBC versus Howard at 6:40 tonight. And the winner of that game will face off against #1 seed Michigan right here in Buffalo on Thursday. And then the other first 4 matchup is Texas versus NC State at 9:15 tonight. So if you are doing a bracket, it technically doesn't need to be done until Thursday when all of the games start. And I love going to a bar on Thursday where there's a gazillion TVs and you're sitting with buddies and watching all of the different games. It's a lot of fun. And I'm not a huge college basketball fan. I was when I was in college because I went to Syracuse and I graduated in 2004. And of course, in 2003, they won the national championship with Carmelo Anthony, and it was an amazing run. And so, of course, I was into college basketball then, but I really haven't followed it too much.
Neither have I. Where I went to college, the sports were king, but basketball was not USC's big thing. But
I still like doing a bracket just to like have something to root for. Sometimes I do too, just so I am interested in watching the games or at least seeing the scores and kind of following along.
I didn't realize the #1 seed was coming here. I knew Michigan was coming. I didn't realize they were the #1. That's amazing.
It's a
that's huge.
Big thing. And Michigan State. So you've got these people who can actually drive in because up until Sunday, no one from the other teams knew whether they were coming. So then getting a last-minute flight from Tampa, USF, to go to Buffalo in March is not pleasant, but also not cheap or easy to fly here.
No, and how does one get from Michigan? I guess you fly to, can you fly to?
No, you would drive through Canada.
No,
and then
I thought you meant to fly.
No. For those
Ann Arbor, where is it? Ann Arbor?
I would imagine that those Michiganders are just going to drive.
Drive. That's okay. That's doable. It's a drive. But yeah, I mean, where they're coming from, the weather's just like here, so it's no big change.
Yeah.
But
then you've got North Dakota State.
Oh wow.
And Louisville. And so, folks from all across the country are coming here. And hopefully they'll like what they see. We are trying to make it as nice as possible for them. But also, there are 2 people that we're watching in particular, 1 player and 1 coach on different teams. But they have a connection here to Western New York. First, Roddy Gale Jr. He plays for Michigan. And he started his high school career at Niagara Falls High School. And then his family made the decision for him to transfer to Lewiston Porter. And he played college basketball at Ohio State, and then he went on to Michigan. And he's appeared in 33 games this season. And we spoke with his mom about his journey, and as you can imagine, she is pretty darn proud.
I cry a lot. I feel it's a feeling that you just gotta experience it. You definitely have to just experience it. It's a feeling I'm so proud.
And also on Thursday, as we mentioned, USF, University of South Florida, they're going to be playing Louisville at 1:30. And as we get closer to tip-off, we're learning more about USF's head coach, who's reflecting on his journey and also absolutely overwhelmed with emotion. It's Brian Hodgson is the coach's name. He's an Olean native. He went to Jamestown High School, and he began his coaching career at Fredonia and then went on to UB as an assistant. And now he's a head coach at USF. And Thursday will be a big moment for him because it's going to provide a special experience for him and his dad.
I'm out there watching the selection show, and Buffalo, New York popped up, and I'm from Western New York. And my father has dementia, and I've been a head coach for 3 years, and he's never seen me coach as a head coach in person.
And he went on to say that his dad and his mom will be here at KeyBank Center to watch him coach in person.
That's cool.
Which is so special. And Brian Hodgson, by the way, is the top candidate right now to take over the Syracuse University men's basketball team, because the coach who replaced Boeheim didn't do too well. 2 losing seasons, not making the tournament, and so they're looking for a new head coach and doing those interviews right now. And he apparently is one of the top candidates. And with him being a Western New Yorker, going to Central New York would be just a hop, skip, and jump down the thruway. So what a special moment for his dad to finally see him, whether he knows it or not that he's watching his son coach basketball. I'm sure that for the coach to know that his dad is there is pretty special.
That is cool.
Love these stories, and I love the Cinderella stories too. I'm really hoping that a 16 seed can beat a 1 seed and do make a run. Florida Gulf Coast University
last year?
FGCU. No, that was several years ago.
That broke all the brackets.
Yeah.
And they were like,
I can't remember whose last year's somewhat Cinderella story was, but there wasn't like a huge 16-1
They
upset.
went, how far did they go?
They went far.
Far, right.
Maybe the Elite Eight, maybe Final Four. Not Final Four, but I think Elite Eight that FGCU went to.
Yeah. And what is it Bill Gates offers $1 million? Anybody that gets
Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett. Okay. Good. Well, I mean, it's the same milieu.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Because no one's ever had a perfect bracket.
It's amazing. But it's 64 teams. It kind of stands to reason. It's the outcomes are so much more vast than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun to watch. And it's exciting to have it here in Western New York. There will be volunteers out to help folks in Western New York who are going down to KeyBank Center and want to watch the game. So, yeah, we're expecting out-of-towners, but then also, people from all around the 8 counties of Western New York who want to watch the games as well. So volunteers will be out to help navigate, help tell you where to park, where to eat. And eating is difficult because between the first 2 games in the early afternoon, there's only 90 minutes, and it's going to take you time to get out and then get back in. And then between the early afternoon and then night games, there's really only about an hour break.
Yeah, that's not enough time. So you got to do a food truck.
Yes, and there will be food trucks down there. They kind of learned from their mistakes last time with folks saying, I've got nowhere to eat. And, you can't eat in KeyBank Center, but you can't stay there between the games. So
what do you mean you can't eat at KeyBank Center?
You can eat at
I thought you said
KeyBank
you can't.
Center.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Right, but you can't stay there between the games. You're eating during the game.
Oh, that's right.
They're kicking you out. Only like really VIPs and a few people in the suites can stay between the games, but everyone else has to leave. And it's not going to be like walk around downtown and take it in type of weather on Thursday.
No, it's not going to be. Can you imagine if it was this cold? No, it's not. But yeah, there's not a lot of stuff right there. And if you want, 90 minutes that's like the worst amount of time. I wish it was less or a lot more. 90, it's like you could flirt with the idea of going out to eat, but you might not have time. Right.
All right, we wish everybody luck. Hey, you know what? Friday will be a good day, though, because there's no games, and so that'll be an opportunity for lots of businesses around Western New York to take advantage of all the visitors that are in town who need to, waste a day doing something. And there are so many great things to see and do in Western New York, so we hope they find them. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right, Saberhood, are you ready for 4 games in 6 nights? They are hitting the road with some momentum after winning 4 of their last 5 home games and holding on to the top spot in the Atlantic Division, 4 points ahead of Tampa Bay right now. But now they are heading out west. Tonight is the Golden Knights. They don't play until 10 o'clock tonight. And then again, they have got 4 West Coast games in 6 nights, hoping to not just make the playoffs now, but clinch.
Can they clinch?
They could clinch.
In the next 4 games?
No, there's 15 games left total, and it's going to be a battle against Tampa Bay. And by the way, that game is going to be on April 6th, which is Dingus Day, and that is going to be so much fun to watch.
Especially if it's like
neck and neck at the end of the to get the division.
And the fact that I think both by the end of this weekend, I think Tampa Bay has 4 games. We have 4. I mean, what does it look like on Sunday? The standings, so much.
But they also have 2. We've played 2 more games than Tampa Bay, so.
Make those up
but we're 4 points up, so it's looking good. Exciting time to be a Sabres fan. Not exciting time for us with our sleeping schedule with the game at 10 o'clock tonight. We'll be waking up as it's ending.
No, totally.
So,
yeah.
Anyway, finally, if we've got time for it, this is the Bills Mafia house. We told you that it is for sale. Well, we've just learned it has been sold. The home's former owner shared the news on social media saying that it was their time to move on. They thanked the fans for their support over the last 13 years and thanked them for making the Bills Mafia house what it is today. The home was listed at $700,000. We do not know how much it sold for.
How did they come up with the value? Because you can't use comps. Because
No.
there are no comps for this.
Right.
So where did I wonder?
And is it going to be a primary residence? Are they going to make it an Airbnb? Are they just going to use it for parking? We will find out though when real estate listings come out, and we'll be able to find that. It's public record, but I'm dying to know how much it sold for. Was there a bidding war? Was it more? Was it less? Because it's not really a fancy house for $700,000, but obviously location, location, location.
You know, you can find out. Get on the Erie County.
That's not listed until 3 months from now when it actually, where it closes.
Okay. Oh yeah, the 60-day close here.
Bye everybody. Have a good one.